What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Speaking of entertainment, today on the program, I have the great pleasure of speaking to Crisie Isbell. What? Oh, you know a little bit about Crisie Isbell, but you want to know a little bit more. Well, stick around. You're going to get to know a little bit more about Crisie Isbell in the next few minutes. Hey, this week's shows, I have my one public show that I do nearly every Friday of the year. I am at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. My video dance party karaoke jam. Yes, I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show. They got a full bar. They got the kitchens open, pool tables. They got a pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money while you're hanging out, why not? Go play pool at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Check out the pool tournament. And while you're waiting to sing right next to little old me, and I'll get you dancing. You know I will. It's always a good time at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Video dance party karaoke jam starts at 8 p.m. and goes till 12:30 in the a.m. Good times at the Rab, Conway, Arkansas, Friday night. All right, let's get into it with Crisie Isbell. Now, I got her on Skype. If you're listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version of this podcast at my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDan. Like, subscribe, share, all that kind of thing. Let's get into it with Crisie Isbell. Skyping Crisie Isbell now. And there she is. Oh, my goodness. Crisie Isbell, as I live and breathe. I've been so excited about this. I've been looking forward to having a chit-chat with you. I mean, I've been listening to your music, of course. Yeah, I've been listening to your music, of course. And Crisie Isbell, anybody can go to your YouTube page or your Instagram or your Twitter and find out a lot more about you. But I wanted to know the person behind the music. I know we were supposed to do this probably a couple of weeks ago, but you were doing something. Yeah. Maybe you can let the people know a little bit about who a Crisie Isbell is.
Yeah, I was in the woods bow hunting that day. I was afraid that I wouldn't make it out of the woods in time, to do the interview.
Well, wait.
So you got to strike while iron's hot.
So you don't sing the sing, you talk the talk, you walk the walk. You sing about things, that men usually do. Manly men, they go out and hunt and gather and get in the woods and find a deer stand and get up on top and shoot, with bows and arrows and weapons of many kinds. But Crisie Isbell, you're just a little girl.
Let me tell you, this last deer that I killed, I had to really just MacGyver this thing. I was in a ladder stand. I was in Missouri, okay? And this is the shot I had to take. I got the biggest deer, but I had to get the deer, I was on a ladder stand, and I had to stand up. And I didn't have anything to prop the gun on, so I just had to put it on my shoulder. And then there were all these tree branches, and it looked like a penny or like a nickel-sized hole through the branches. And that is what I had to shoot through to get the deer. And I'm standing on top of the ladder stand, but I got it. And I waited to the last minute to kill the deer. I let some walk, but I wanted to make sure I got the biggest deer. I've got the biggest deer for the last few years on the trip, but it was great. But I did it.
Crisie Isbell, you're an actual hunter. You hunt things.
Yeah.
You hunt deers. Last time I shot a gun, I think it was back in 19 bum, and I was a little boy shooting a BB gun. I don't remember shooting, real guns. I guess I had a 22, and I'd go plinking with little cans and such down in the Florida Everglades when I was growing up. But you're an actual strap on the big guns. But you said this was bow hunting. Is that a different kind of thing? Do you do the gun hunting as well?
I do both. I do both.
So is it different seasons that you have to hunt in different ways? My stepdad, he goes out hunting. He lives in the Florida, Miami, but he's got a place in Tennessee, and I think he mostly bought it because of the hunting advantages. And I know that I don't do a lot of research when I do these things. I like them to unfold naturally, but I do know that you're an Alabama girl. A Southern girl, but you went hunting in Mississippi, in Missouri, right? Missouri?
Right.
So tell me about...
The deer is much...
The deer is what?
I still have deer meat that we're eating from a deer that was killed last year.
Okay, so hunting and gathering.
A lot bigger in Missouri.
So do you use just the meat of the deer, or do you use the pelts, or do you make deer coats? Or do you make use of anything? Because I know in some of the pictures, and you have lots of pictures. I want to get into that on your social media. There's a lot of pictures out there of Crisie Isbell. So if you want to see the many sides of Crisie Isbell, you can go out there and see it in image form. But before I go through that, you had one picture, at least one picture that I saw. There was a head. An actual head. Is that in your house?
Yes, I'm out just about every deer that I kill, and then I don't kill anything that I don't eat. And I took, a long story short, I took my biology in nursery school, and that really wigged me out about our food supply. But I also grew up farming, and I grew up to where we grew all of our own vegetables and our meat. So at the grocery store, we bought things like flour, sugar, things like that. So I live that kind of life now. When the season's in, I have several gardens out there. I can my own vegetables. We've raised a few, hogs ourselves and cow, you know what I'm saying? And, then we go out and kill deer. But I also have an elk hunt coming in Wyoming, and I think that would be great meat. But if you study it, eating meat like that is way healthier. And plus, when I go by the meat section in the grocery store and I look at the prices, it literally makes me sick.
Well, I'm having a little trouble with the sound. Are you on your phone or are you on your computer?
I'm actually on my phone because my stupid.
Okay, no problem. I think we can work it out. I'll raise the levels as I can, but I am getting the gist of the conversation, and I do hope that the listener does get the gist as well of Crisie Isbell. Now, when you go out hunting, and you say you traveled all the way to Missouri for that, do you go in a group of people? Does your family go with you? Do you have friends that go with you? What's the size of the group of people that are going hunting with you?
I would say around 4, maybe 5 sometimes. It's, family and friends, and I'm always the only girl, and that's why I get so excited to kill the big one every year.
Okay,
because
so you're very competitive. I can tell. You like to be the winner of the game.
Yeah, well, because I'm a girl, I feel like I have to do better.
Oh, well, okay. I suppose there is a merit in that. You have to work twice as hard to get half as much. I know that I've always heard that, right. Being raised by, strong women. I had my mother. She was a single mom. I had my grandmother who helped to raise me as well. Very strong woman in my life. And she said, we always have to work twice as hard to get half as much. And I do find
That's
that
true.
yeah, statistically, there is definitely that. And is that something that you've grown up with? Do you have strong women in your life? And yes, I have read some of your bio. If I look at your bio real quick, the top line, and these are the different avenues that we can explore, as Crisie Isbell is a singer, Crisie Isbell is a survivor, and Crisie Isbell is a poet and songwriter who writes about her life.
Right.
Now, those are different avenues that we can
Right.
explore, and if you read further,
Real.
you can know more. Tell people about that.
Mhm. Yeah, I really don't write a song unless something to do with something that's really going on in my life. You know, I just don't work any other way. I don't understand writing a song that has nothing to do with you. you know, but yes, I have had strong women in my life. My dad's mom, just put it to you this way, my mom's mom, her driver's license, never learned to drive. In Alabama, it's like a lot of women, cooked and stayed at home, that sort of thing. Well, my dad's mom was a redhead, and she was very, very fiery, and she drove all the work trucks. She drove putwood trucks, anything you put in front of her, she could drive. And all of my dad's sisters in front of me, and they say, oh, you're just like mom. You can drive anything that you put in front of you, because I drive the tractor and I bush hog cars, and I've always been into cars and into drag racing, and I've always been able to drive. Just you put in front of me, I can drive it. It's just a gift. And I was around a lot of women, I'll be honest, growing up around the dirt roads and all of that in Alabama, that were not very independent. And I took the stance of my redheaded grandmother. I was like, anything you put in front of me, I'm going to know how to do it. I'm not going to take a seat. I'm going to hunt with the guys, drive cars with the guys, and all of the guys. And I have.
No, I believe that to be true.
So-
But you've experienced the two different types of women that there might be in the world. Some that are out, go-getters, go into the world, experience life, but then you give up some of the things that you leave behind. There's family, there's the children that need to be tended to, and then the other side where a woman is more maternal, but where she's more, well, I mean, that's the root of the word, she's more motherly, where she'll stay at home, cook, clean, take care of the kids, take care of the house, home economics. I believe that is probably a hard job as well. But I mean, tell me, you said that you went more of the way of your dad's mom, but do you have any traits of your mom's mom as well?
I mean, I would say, yeah, but the thing, Pamela Anderson was doing, and she was talking about what a great mom she was and what a hands-on mom she was. And everybody was acting so surprised. And she said, why can't you be hot and be, a great mom? Why can't you be good at this and good at that? For me, I'm a very hands-on mom. I do garden, and I can all of my own vegetables, and I cook every night. That I'm at home, I cook. I'm very hands-on with my children, and just because I act and I sing and I do all of this, people don't realize that I bring my kids along with me. I've even took my children on a TV show that I was on, and they just kind of put that to the side. But my daughter is a drummer, a piano player, a vocalist, and an actress.
Wow.
So, do you know what I'm saying? When I'm cooking, I just do like I was done when I was little. Pull up a stove, and you say, stand on that stool. I mean, I've been cooking since I was 7, and you have them do it with you, and if I'm playing instruments, they do it too, and there's no reason just because you're an artist that you can't be a hands-on mom, because I feel like I'm a lot closer to my children than most anybody that I've ever met, So, and I do cook a lot. Cooking is my hobby. I grew up, like I said, farming in Alabama. And what's so funny about it is I went to school with a lot of people that weren't living that way. And they used to always brag about fast food and oh my God, I can't believe you hadn't had McDonald's and all this BS. And I remember when I got old, I had like a hamburger from fast food. And I was like, this is so disgusting. Like, what is this meat? A piece of paper? Like, it's the thinnest thing I've ever seen, because, like, we raised all of our own meat and all of that sort of thing. And I just thought, I don't get it. I don't understand, like, what all the fuss is about. Like, this is disgusting, And, I know my kids, they've got to feel the same way because, they grew up on home cooking. So,
Well, that's good. You're training the next generation. Obviously, your daughter is following in your footsteps. She's, and we can definitely talk about, and you could brag on your kids a little bit later on, but we're bragging about you. And you mentioned, all right, one thing that you mentioned was the hotness. You could be hot and be a good mother and be all that, and you have cultivated a look for yourself. You've taken the time.
Right.
You work hard to be the person that you are. I mean, I am fatter than I ever have been in my life. I used to be a firefighter. I was, running 5 miles a day to train, to be in shape, and I miss those days. But what do you do to keep yourself in such a way in a trim figure? Because, being in the public eye, you do have to look a certain way, or else you're going to get publicly shamed. And you tell me about what it is, why it is you cultivate the look that you do.
Well, believe it or not, about 20 years ago, I started doing Hawaiian Tropic and Venus swimwear swimsuit contest. And back then, I worked at Hooters and I did all of that. But back then, I learned to train for my bikini contest. And that's what kind of started this whole road that I was on, and the look. I learned the look, and I learned how to master it, just doing my bikini contest and stuff like that. Learned how to train. Now I've really, really into yoga. I love yoga. I try to do it on a daily basis. I also go and I do bar class, and bar class is amazing. For those who know who it is, and I do weight training, but I'm very active. It's something that started like I said, years ago, so I've got all that great muscle memory. But as far as eating, I eat, and so I eat just whatever I want. It's not fast food, but I feel like I'm a very active person, and I exercise a lot, and that's no lie.
Well, that's just what it is. When you start training, you want to eat better. As soon as you start lifting weights, you get into an exercise regimen, you put away those hamburgers from the fast food joints. You start to want to eat better.
Yeah.
I remember when I was training to be a firefighter, I was eating salads, and I think the worst thing I had was juice. I had pine orange banana juice. That was the thing that kept me sane with the sugars in there. But it was mostly salads. A big giant salad is going to be better than a fast food hamburger. But I like that. I like that you grew up on the farm. You have that training from a young age to have that good farm cooking. I'm from Miami. I'm a big city boy, but now I'm in Conway, Arkansas. I'm in the country. The internet is terrible here, so I had to rent an office to get better internet. And I see out here in Alabama, it might be the internet that's going bad. But I understand most of what you're saying, and I do appreciate that you're here with me, with us here. But and I remember when I was a firefighter down in the Florida Keys, I got to judge some of those Hawaiian Tropic bikini contests as well. So they're a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun to be had.
Yeah.
And I do believe that the attractiveness of a woman is what, and the attractiveness of a man is what perpetuates the species. You know, people are I guess people are getting a little more, oh, don't objectify me. Well, please objectify me. You know, find me attractive, so you will, you know, possibly want to mate with me. Don't try to be unattractive. You don't. I think they're going the wrong way. I think you're going the right way.
Me too.
You know, you're keeping
Wrong
it.
way. I told somebody that the other day. I said, objectify me, baby, you know. But I mean, I had a lot of fun doing all those. I liked the competition. It didn't offend me at all. I mean, I had a blast doing them.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And you know, last summer I was asked to model surfwear on the beach, and I went and modeled that. And then I'm gonna do it next month. None of that bothers me. I'm just having fun. I think it's way too serious.
Yeah, and beyond that, you're doing cosplay as well. I mean, is it only Elvira that you're cosplaying? Because that's a fantastic cosplay. But there's other. What are you doing with the cosplay? Because I get to do a lot of Comic-Cons here in Arkansas. I get to DJ and play it.
Comic-Con.
Yeah. So tell me about the cosplay part of Crisie Isbell.
Well, I actually was on 3 billboards here at Elvira because I did 2 commercials this year as Elvira for the haunted house that I worked for. So they needed an Elvira, and somebody said, "Oh, I've got the perfect girl." So I, you know, got a phone call, you know, "Are you Elvira?" And I thought, you know, dream come true. I grew up watching Elvira. I absolutely love her. I totally get it. You know, she's so funny. And that's the way that I am, you know, just really quick humor. And I've had so much fun doing this. I mean, you wouldn't believe some stuff that's happened to me, you know, being Elvira at the haunted house. It's just been great.
No, whenever I do cosplay and I meet up with the cosplayers as well, once they're in those outfits, they become that person. You get to play a role. And you said that you've been in movies. I want to talk about that a little bit later, or some kind of, you've been in shows or commercials, whatever. You could tell people about that. But, you know, once you put on that Elvira outfit, you become Elvira. You're not Crisie Isbell anymore. And what have you met up with Cassandra Peterson, the actual Elvira? Have you ever met up with her?
No, but I did find out that they were making a movie about her. And my music video director, he's been in like 84 movies. He's a film director too, Kevin Wayne. And he's just been, you know, on me like, "God, you've got to find out about this, you know." He was like, "This would be perfect for you, you know." Like, "Yeah, you know, I know what you mean because I've already been Elvira, you know, for a few years now. So I pretty much got it down pat."
Well, find out what the casting director needs. You know, make a video. I'd like to see Crisie Isbell in a biopic about Cassandra Peterson, aka Elvira. Yeah. And that's fantastic. I've only met her in passing. Yeah. Down in Miami, she was doing some kind of a like a haunted movie marathon. So I got to go to the marathon, and I was working for the radio at the time. So I only really just met her in passing. You know, it's Elvira. Oh, okay. And, you know, kind of ships passing in the night. So that's as close to that greatness as I've gotten in the past. But man, so, all right. So tell me about any other cosplay that you've been doing, or was that the only one for that haunted house?
Yes, I do Elvira haunted house, and we film a new commercial every year. And this year we actually filmed 2 commercials, and it was just so hilarious because they had this, you know, storyline to where they were Yellowstone. So we were getting branded on our chest, but it was HH, like Hellbilly Hollow. So they were like, "Are you going to take the brand and all of this?" And they made me say, "Well, it don't look that bad to me." And so then all the men were like fighting, over who was going to brand my chest. So, it was great. It was just hysterical, So they put the fight in the commercial, and pretty sweet.
Well, it sounds really tongue in cheek. Now, you say that this was a commercial, actual commercial, setup, lights, camera, action, was scripted.
Right.
So was there a big production to that? You've already told me that you have a production company that helps you with your videos, your music videos, which are fantastic, by the way. So the director, who's been in 84 movies, fantastic. But tell me about the making of the commercial. Was it scripted? You had to memorize lines, or was it more improv?
No, it was scripted. We did, actually, we did 3 commercials this year, but it was scripted. And me and the owner, Beetlejuice, he was acting like he was calling Kay Ivey, which is the governor of Alabama. And he said, "Why are you doing this to me? I voted for you 4 times." Get it? He's only supposed to vote once. Do you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And we were acting, everyone was turning into zombies. And so he looked at Elvira, and I was standing there, and he mindless zombies, what are we going to do? And I said, "Well, we could have a haunted house, with the mindless zombies." And then the other one, we did the Yellowstone, which I thought was great. They had the brand hot and steam was coming off of it. But then when I said I wanted the brand, everyone broke five, who was going to brand me. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. And I think I saw some of that on your YouTube page. You were trying to make a live, or maybe it was on your Instagram. And I think Beetlejuice was wandering around in the background. And you said, he's ruining,
that was fun.
He's ruining my video. So
yeah, that was hilarious. Amber works the door of the haunted house, and he was yelling, "Amber!" So we've all just got a big laugh out of it, But we have so much fun working there together. I mean, he is hysterical.
Well, it sounds like you have a blast doing what you do, the entertainment business. I tell people that, in the entertainment business, they go, "How come you DJ every weekend?" And, even at this age, I go, because it's fun, because it's amazing. It's a blast. You get to be with people at their happiest times and make them even happier. So you get to sing for people, and I know that you have some YouTube videos out there and some Instagram videos that where you tape your performances. So if anybody wants to check those out, by all means, please go to the Crisie Isbell YouTube page and the Instagram page and find out and get to visit with those. But how often do you get out to entertain the people?
Well, I was getting out pretty often, and then COVID. Now I'm doing a live show in Nashville, and it's to be filmed. So I'm taking a whole film crew out there, which is going to be Kevin Wayne, again, music videos. And we're just going to rent a big place in Nashville. And he's going to have like a crane, and, just be able to video. I'm going to perform my whole album, Battle Scars. And we just wanted to film it live and just have that, live performance out there for everybody.
It's nice to watch a live performance. I remember back in the 70s, and yes, I was born way back in 19, blah, 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 okay. All right, I was born in 69. But all through the 70s, before MTV came out, every once in a while, you'd watch a television show, and you'd see some live performances. Maybe you couldn't get to the concert, but you could see the live performances on your local television stations. But nowadays, you can get those live performances, and it could be another way to support the artist. Pay 99 cents to watch this live stream. Pay a minimal amount. It's just a way to help out you're independent artist, and I'm guessing you're independent because we really haven't
Mm-hmm.
gone through. You do have on your Facebook page. You were saying something about you have a you have a what is the Skytone Entertainment? Are you part of that?
Yeah, that's the record label for my producer, Frank Green, Nashville.
Okay. Now, what does Skytone Entertainment? Is that a record deal, or is that are you still considered an independent artist?
I don't think I'm considered an independent artist. Um, like Frank's worked with a lot of famous people. He even recorded Garth Brooks' Friends in Low Places. He recorded all of Kenny Rogers' stuff. This is, just his record label, and I work with him and we collab on everything.
No, I like that. You have a team. We cannot do it all by ourselves. It's nice to have a Skytone Entertainment behind you to help you
Yeah.
get to the next level. Yes, we can get this far, so far by ourselves, hustling. You got to spend 24 hours a day on your social media. Make sure that people don't forget you and get those numbers up. And then you go into the studio and try to cut an album by yourself. You buy some studio time, or you could have a Skytone Entertainment to help you with some of that stuff, some of that process. What is it that you got from Skytone as opposed to when Crisie Isbell was all on her own, just a little girl in the Alabama woods, oh, I'm so scared and I'm trying to make it. But what is it you get from being with a record label as opposed to by yourself?
Well, for instance, High Heel Shoes is the biggest production I've ever done. There's so many instruments in that song. I've been recording songs since I was in my early 20s. But now that was my first where there's all these, saxophone, trumpet, and, all these different instruments. And, if it wasn't for Frank, then that whole, big production would have never happened. I've done so much acoustic music because I am from the back roads in Alabama. I have to work with what is around me, and I've done acoustic music to death, and I think that, all of us from here have, and then, when I got hooked up with Frank and with Skytone, I actually started making productions, and from there, you can make videos. So then I got hooked up with Kevin Wayne and his team, and now we're making beautiful music videos. And my last music video will be out on Christmas Eve, and it is so beautiful. It literally took my breath away. I'm serious. It's unreal.
Now, working with Skytone Records, were they the ones that got you together with Kevin Wayne? Because it sounds like Kevin Wayne took you to the next level visually. Because I'm a very visual guy. Whenever I do my music parties, they're always music video parties. I'll set up some TV screens and I'll put music videos up for the people to see. That way, they're not only hearing the music, but they're also watching the music video of Crisie Isbell. And now that we're chatting, you'll definitely be on the playlist coming up in the next week or so when I do the clubs this weekend. And that's my job, is to break out, not just the new artists, but also the new songs. That's our relationship symbiotically. The DJ plays the music, the new music that you have. I don't play instruments. Do you play instruments at all?
Yes, I play the piano.
Okay. And the piano has been around for a long time. Who got you in the piano?
Me, I started wanting to play the piano at 10 years old. I just love it. And people don't realize it, but I love classical music too. I love Beethoven and all of that good stuff. So I love the piano. It's cool.
Okay. All right. You're not alone in the house. I heard a cough out there. Would that be that hunk of a man that I see in all the pictures? The guy that keeps the smile on your face?
Yeah, he just walked out.
Oh, I was trying to give him some compliments. It sounds like you have,
Yeah.
if you look at your social media and yeah, anytime you get a job interview, anytime somebody gets some kind of an interview, all they have to do is look at social media for about 35 seconds, and a lot of your life is out there. And I saw
Mhm.
that you have love in your life, and that's a beautiful thing. So tell me about the personal life, the love of Crisie Isbell. When did that happen?
Oh, well, actually, we went for our whole life, and he's 2 grades ahead of me in school. He used to show up to school in hunting clothes because he would hunt before school. So, yeah.
So how could you see him? He was all camouflaged. I don't see you.
Yeah.
But little did you know that years later you would be wearing camouflage right next to him.
Yeah. I did not see,
Well,
but yeah.
that's beautiful. So you didn't date in high school, or did you date in high school? Never,
No,
never.
no,
Just
high school. Mm-mm.
he was just somebody that was 2 grades ahead of you and passing in the night. Okay, but when did you actually get together? Like how many years ago?
Uh, 10 years ago.
10 years ago, and then magic, fire, explosions, fireworks, and you have love, and you got married, and then you had kids, and the kids are old enough. Well, at least one of them is old enough to play instruments. You could brag on the kids a little bit.
Yeah. My daughter just and she takes drum lessons and piano, and it's weird because she can sing while she plays the piano, which is not very common. Usually people have problems,
Yeah.
but she's really good at it.
Well, that's a lot of coordination, even for an 8-year-old, but even for an 18-year-old or even older. But yeah, the coordination for the two hands, I never had it. I never had it. I have I've had guitars. I have a piano in my house. I've had drum sets. I don't have that coordination. So what do? I'm the guy that puts the record on, or at least until '99. I gave up my records. Now it's all digital. Now I put my digital wheels of steel, and I'll play the records. I push the button, and then the Crisie Isbell music comes right out of it, and it's beautiful. So that's my lot in life. But you actually get to take an instrument, a piano. If you see a piano in the corner of your local bar, you could get over there and play a song. And these are songs that you've written, or do you have people that help you write songs as well?
Right. Well, the process is, well, song gets stuck in around the house, like when I'm cleaning or something. If it don't get stuck in my head, I feel like it's not going to get stuck in anybody else's head. But if it gets stuck in my head, I feel like, okay, song worth pursuing. So I will work on that. What I'll do is I will sing it through my microphone. I'll record it and I'll send it to my producer, and he'll call me. We'll talk about it, and he'll usually record, and he'll send me the track of the music that he made to it. And it's just like usually a bass track, like maybe with like some drums and like an acoustic guitar. And we'll say, okay, we're pursuing this song. I'll go to the call and we'll from there. Usually if some words don't fit or something like that, he'll encourage me to make changes in certain areas, like what about this? What about that? So he's been my writer, because the words have to fit the timing. You can't just say whatever you want. It's tricky. It's got to go into timing. You know what I'm saying? But we work as a good team, me and Frank, but it all starts with me just going around the house and singing, and there's a song that gets stuck in my head, I'm like, maybe Frank should know about this. Maybe I should see if this is something worth recording, something like that.
So it is a team effort. It sounds like you have some recording equipment at the house, but it's funny. You're thinking. You're telling me stories about if it doesn't get stuck in your head. I remember a story of I can't say he's a friend, but he's an acquaintance. The Casey and the Sunshine Band, Wayne Casey. He said when he worked at TK Records, people would come in and say, "Hey, what's that song with the guy that goes and that guy with the thing?" So KC came up with the idea. Whenever he was writing and performing songs, his hooks would go over and over again. I'm your boogeyman. I'm your boogeyman. What's the name of that song? I'm your boogeyman. That's the name of that song. Right. Shake, 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 shake. You know the name of that song. So that hook gets stuck in your head, and a Crisie Isbell song is going to get stuck in your head as well. Battle Scars. This is a song that just came out. Or Battle Scars is the whole record. Why Battle Scars?
Battle Scars is my most favorite song that I ever wrote. And believe it or not, my producer was going to name that Crisie Isbell, and I said no.
I'm sorry. Say it again because you cut out a little bit. What was he going to name that song?
My producer was going to name Crisie Isbell, and I said no. I said I want it to be named Battle Scars. To me, that's the best song that I've ever written, and all the songs on the album is about different battle scars in my life anyway, and I just felt like it should be named Battle Scars, and believe it or not, every song that I went to Nashville to record, it took time, it took take after take and discussing things and changing things. And, the God's honest truth is I went up, I sang Battle Scars. When I was through singing it, I looked at my producer and he goes, "Well, we got it." And I was like, "Are you sure?
One take?
Are you sure it's something we need to change or do?" And he just was like, "No, you got it." And I was like, "You're kidding." I couldn't believe it, but I don't know. It was something so close to me that I knew how to lay it down. I knew how to sing the song. I mean, I did go back through and do some background as far as, changing anything. I just it's the only song I've went up and just sang the song, and that's the actual recording.
Well, I can tell by the sound of your voice that it is the pride of your catalog. Tell me about the Battle Scars. What are the battle scars that inspired you? If you can rattle those off, or if it's too personal, you don't have to go into it. But what are the battle scars that you've been through that you've made it past?
Gosh, there's so much. I mean, it is personal, but because of things I've been through, I did do work with incarcerated women for a while. And that was nice because I got to work with a lot of drug addicts, had a lot of scars on their arm from different drugs and things like that.
In what capacity? How did you work with them? What were you doing?
It's actually with ministry, but what I did was I did spend some time in foster care and in group homes. And then I did survive a drug addiction. So when I go into jail, like a prison, they accept me more than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm one of them. I've never been to jail, but I understand them more than just, somebody from church. Or does that make sense? And
you have the street cred.
They can relate to me. To me, they're just somebody else I was in a group home with, or I was in a foster home with. And I know the drill, I know how to get off drugs. I know what it's like to have a hard life and then try to incorporate yourself into the world. It's really complicated, conversation, but I do have a lot of battle scars, but I don't judge anybody because people don't realize what other people have been through, and I love everybody sincerely, from my heart, and I want to help people. And I do believe that people can recover.
Oh yeah.
I've seen people recover. I've recovered, you know, um, and I just want, like I said, to help people. And that's why I sing about, my songs may sound a little poppy or sweet, but if you listen to them, they're about a lot of really hard stuff. You know, if you think about it, like let's say you listen to a Tom album or a Rolling Stones, all the songs are so different. They could go from a pure country song to a blues song to a rock song to a bluegrass song, and that's what my album did. None of the songs were the same. But I figure, there's so many different emotions and things to go through in life that my album ended up, their albums. Does that make sense?
Absolutely makes sense. We are not one person. We're not black. We're not white. We're not Republican. We're not Democrat. We're not liberal. We're not conservative. We're not all one thing. We're a part of many things that make us all.
Many things.
Yes. Now tell okay, if you don't mind, how did you end up in foster care, and then how did you end up in addicted to a certain kind of a drug, and then how did you ultimately get out of it?
Well, here's the thing. I went through a lot of childhood abuse, and the wonderful thing is, which I haven't put it on social media yet or anything, I don't care at this point, but last October, I went back 27 years. This is so great. And I put my stepdad in prison, and I got to watch them handcuff him off to prison. And this is what is so funny. I never gave up. I kept calling the DA's office for all these years, and they would lie to me, and they would say, "Oh, I can't find your file from foster care. Your file's missing." Well, then, but I would only talk to men. Well, then they hired a female investigator. So I called the female. I've actually got a file here at the house. She found my file in 2 days. I mean, 2 days, really? Okay. She found my file in 2 days. She took the file, and she was really pissed off because they actually interviewed my stepdad way back when, and he actually admitted to the abuse, and it was in the file from then. And in the state of Alabama, there's no statute. What's so beautiful about it is, guess what I got? I got a female judge. I can't make this up, okay? Well, the DA's office hired a female Hispanic lady. So the DA's office actually issued me a formal apology. This is a true story. They told me how sorry they were that I had been pursuing all these years and that he was left out on the street to hurt whoever, And there was a moment in court, this is no lie, to where me and the female judge and the female investigator, all of us looked at each other when we left, and we just shook our heads, and we knew that we had done something special. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like after all years, didn't get away with what he did, but
You got justice. You got justice is what you did.
I finally did.
Yeah.
I finally got justice, but when I was little, it was like, you don't tell, and I was from Alabama, but I did tell. So everybody's solution was foster care, that'll shut her up and it'll take the shame off the family type of deal. So, I went to foster care and group, and I actually, best friend, she was 11 years older than me, and we met, and it's like I knew her immediately. It was so, and since she was 11 years older than me, she ended up taking me in out of foster care because she was old enough. Well, she found out I could sing, and even though I was a teenager, and I know people will say it's bad or whatever, but she took me. There's a river in Alabama, and she would take me on the weekends along the river to all the bars and restaurants, and I would sing in all of those places. And I still talk to the owner, Jan from Pier 59. But I spent my teenage years singing on stage, entertaining people. And all I had, she took me in, I had one drawer and one couch. I slept on the couch. And those were like the happiest years of my life. I mean, we had a freaking blast. But, I spent those years singing. And when she passed away, the song off my album, Howlin' at the Moon, I wrote that to Lisa, my best friend that took me in out of foster care. And if you listen to it, I talk about Bob Seger and the Eagles and Top and all the songs that me and her used to sing, and, go out and ride around and just full experience with her best friend and like being my hero. But I've had a very unusual life, extremely unusual.
Oh, what I take away from that is, you're a girl in the country. You can live off the land, and you were living at its simplest: a couch, a drawer, very minimal amount of things. And still you found joy. You found happiness. You found elation. You found the happiest times of your life with just a little bit of things. So Crisie Isbell does not need much to get along in this world. And, hey, that's great. That's a good thing. To strip oneself down. That's like a Buddhist thing. That's like a something that the monks do. The people that are the most spiritual will strip down to just the one things and still find inspiration. And you have the power to take that inspiration, put it down to paper, put it in a microphone, put it in a song, and put it out to the world. So through that pain that you've suffered through in your life, you have creativity. And I hear it in your voice, the happiness, the big smile that's here in front of me. The people that are listening to the audio version of this need to check out the video version so you can see what is the joy of Crisie Isbell. Fantastic. Well, tell me, how about the things that are happening now? What is going on? Because I'm mindful of your time. I know that you have your man out there. He's waiting to get some time with you. The family is out there. They're waiting for their time with Crisie Isbell, and I appreciate the time that you spent with us. But tell me about what's happening now, and what are you proud of, and what do you want to give? Who do you want to give shout outs to? Tell me about what's going on. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. She is like a chip off the block. Hi. She brought in her daughter. Tell me, who is that?
That's Stormy. She's
Stormy.
Her and the piano actress. She
fantastic. Taking off of you, but go ahead, Crisie Isbell. Tell me about what's going on with you now and in the future, and then give shout outs to people that are helping you along the way.
Well, I'm going to start filming a movie next month to where, guess what? I play a bad foster mom. I can't make this stuff up. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Hey, do you think you could find it in your actress self can you find that character in your being? Are you familiar with that character? I think you are.
Familiar. I've seen it all. If there's anybody that could play it, it's me. It's just the part of being mean to somebody. I'm just going to have to sit there and get out. But I know the part, but it's a book called Swim Away that they're making into a movie. And I got the part of being a bad foster mom. I thought, this is real. Come on. So, but then also I'm writing movie script, because I've always been a writer. That's what I'm more talented at foremost. It was a novel, and I started explaining about it. And he said, "That's not a novel, that's a movie." And I said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yeah." So got me familiar with a that you write scripts on. So I've been taking the novel and writing it into a movie script. And so me and Kevin are trying to turn it into, so I'll be the writer and I'll be the main character, along with Kevin, alongside me. Me and him will be main characters in the movie. And then also, I'm still writing, I'm still recording in Nashville. And like I said, I'm going to record the live show coming up in February. And also, I have a good friend, singer that I've been friends with for over 20 years. He's in a band called Suburban Love Junkies. And after all this time, I told him, I said, time that me and you did a duet. I've never done a duet. And if I'm going to do it with somebody, I would do it with him. It's Eric Waters. So I've been writing a song, for me and him to do as a duet. So I've just got so much going on, really.
You do.
Plus,
Do you?
The kids, all of that.
You do. I mean, you have the husband, the kids to take care of as well. How often do you have to go to Nashville to make those trips? And do they get a chance to come with you sometimes, or is it all by your lonesome?
No, I mean, we go together. I don't take the kids because it's so serious. When you're behind that microphone, you've got to be quiet. The time is so valuable. And sometimes it does take hours. I had one song, believe it or not, that took 7 hours. And I mean, me and my producer was like Def Leppard hysteria. But to be honest, I think that's when I first started working with him. And I think he was testing me, to see what I was all about, And when I left, I had actually lost my voice on that time. And that was carrying me back. And we were duking it out in there. And I think he was just testing me, to see what all I had, what all I was about, because everything's been easier. And the last song was just extremely easy. I think that we've just learned each other, after recording so many songs together.
Well, it's good. That's just another part of the team right there. And yes, he might have been testing your grit, testing your limitations. And, you got to know your limitations. I think that's a Clint Eastwood thing from Dirty Harry. A man's got to know his limitations. A woman's got to know her limitations. So, I know where my limits are, and it's good to find that. And then it becomes a better team. So, but you're letting people know also that if you do want to get into this music business, you're going to sacrifice a couple of hours away from the child, from the children. You're going to sacrifice a little bit to pursue that dream. So you just know getting into it, especially if you start touring all over the world, even all over the country, it's going to take you away from the family time. But that's like any job. Any job is going to take you away from your family for a little while. But, think of a cross-country trucker that goes away for weeks at a time and is back for a couple of days and then goes back out for weeks at a time. It's the same kind of thing that you do as a touring artist. Is that what you want to do? Do you want to be a touring artist, or do you want to be a studio musician, studio artist, or do you want to tour in the Alabama area and possibly the Nashville area only?
No, most of my friends are in Holland. I mean, my fans, they're in Holland, and I have a European promoter. And I was going to go out there, but then COVID hit. But I've been trying to learn the language, and I still want to go out there. I want to go to Europe because so many fans that contact me, and they play my music out there. In Spain and so many countries. It's crazy. I have people contacting me from Sweden. You know what I'm saying? Ireland. Crazy.
No, that sounds great. Go ahead.
Tom Petty said that he Europe and fill stadium, and then he'd come home and he couldn't fill a bar.
Yeah, I think
So-
Queen did the same thing. They would go to Argentina every year or so. Queen would go to Argentina and fill these 200,000 people in front of them.
Yeah.
You know, same thing,
Yeah.
same idea. But it sounds like you have an appreciation for your fans wherever they may be. And that's great. That says a lot about you, Crisie Isbell. There's some people that would just put something out there, and then if you like it, whatever. If you don't like it, whatever. But it sounds like you have that feedback and the people, and you're appreciating. I don't think you even have to learn all that much Dutch. You know, when you go to Holland, I don't think you have to learn that much of the language. If they like the music in English, that's what they want. Maybe say hello and goodbye, you know, or nice to see you in certain languages. That would be great. It's nice that you take that effort and make that effort. That's beautiful. Crisie Isbell.
Well, what's so crazy that they know several languages there. Like they know English and German. And I thought, gosh, I need to step up my game. Like I only know one language, you know?
I know English and bad English.
Yeah. You know, so, but I just appreciate it. Fans contacted me, you know, about my music.
Yeah, and then you want to go to them. All right, so people, if they do want to contact you, how do they get a hold of you? I know you have a website. Give the people the website. And, you know, if people slide into your DMs, business only, okay? She pretty, but she married, okay? Okay. But no, tell people about how to get a hold of you and what kind of collaborations maybe, because you said you were going to do a duet with somebody, and that's a start of a whole nother career for you, or a whole nother avenue for you to explore. But tell people how to get a hold of you, Crisie Isbell.
Okay, well, on Facebook it's under Crisie Musician. I have a music page, and my name is spelled Crisi. And so I always have to say that because it's spelled so odd. But I'm active on my music, on my Instagram. And if you go to CrisieIsbell.hearnow.com, is any of my music that you want to download.
I did see that.
So-
I'll put those links in the show notes for sure, so people know how to get a hold of you. And anybody, you know, are you primarily only singing the songs that you write, or are you open to having people, you know, find a song and say, hey, I think your voice would be good for this? Or you know, what kind of collaborations are you open to?
Usually if I record something, I wrote it. I'm just such a songwriter, you know. Now, when I played out, I would mix in covers, you know, with the songs that I wrote. But I've never recorded a song that I didn't write.
Okay. Well, you got the one show coming up in February 2022. 2022 is going to be a big year for you. You got a movie coming up. You got more music getting recorded, music videos coming out as well. Look for those on your YouTube page. I got all those links for the show notes, so people can look just underneath and go, oh, that's how I get a hold of Crisie Isbell. And your website is great because it has all your social media there, your Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. I don't know what the star is, but I think I clicked on it, and your Twitter and your YouTube as well. So there's places to find you and find out more about you. I appreciate that you gave us a bit of your story. There's a lot of pain there, but then there's joy as well. What's that?
I said that's my first time.
Your first time for what?
To talk about that part of my story, you know, to the public.
Well, I appreciate that so much. You know, sometimes, you know, I'd like to know about the people behind the music and the people that listen to this podcast and watch this podcast. It's primarily a learning podcast. How did you become who you are? What makes Crisie Isbell the person that she is? How did she get so good? And, you know, and that's me. That's me saying. What's that?
The School of Hard Knocks.
You better believe it. Okay. Either you go to college or you get out in these streets and you get to work,
That's
and that's what you're doing. You're getting to work. All right. Last shout outs, for anybody that you need to mention that you haven't mentioned yet. I know Kenny Wayne and Frank over at the production studios. Any other shout outs for people that have helped you along the way? And then we'll just give last words for the people and get out of here.
just my family, and like you were saying, my producer and Kevin Wayne, and my husband Joyce, and my fans. Love you so much for your support.
All right. I usually finish these things off with last words for the people. It could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra. You look in the mirror and you say this, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Crisie Isbell, last words for the people.
Keep moving. Don't give up. Keep moving.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What a nice lady. Oh my goodness. So smiley. If you're listening to the audio version, you could still hear the smile coming through. She was bright, so bright as the sun, really, and writing that music, living through hardships, but still coming out the other side with a smile and with inspiration and putting it all to paper and putting it all to song. Crisie Isbell, that is a superpower that you have. You can not only have those feelings, but you could turn those feelings into purpose. You can make a purpose out of those feelings that would, sour some people. Some people could live a whole life of depression, but you can come out of it and be the fabulous person that you are. And you have a great life with the husband and the kids and making music and inspiring people through your song. Thank you so much, Crisie Isbell, for being on the program and telling a huge part of your story. You didn't have to, but you did, and I appreciate that so much. And I'm sure my listeners will take away quite a bit of inspiration. There are bad times in life, and you can come through. You can come through the other side. You could say, "Oh, woe is me," or you could be inspired and just pick yourself up and go inspire other people. That's what you're doing, Crisie Isbell. Thank you once again for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast. I appreciate it so much. Oh my goodness. I'll keep following you on your socials and, make sure that I keep track of where you are, what's happening, what's new with Crisie Isbell. That almost sounded creepy. Maybe. No. All right. Let me dig myself out of this hole. If you, now I'm talking to you, I'm turning my attention to you, would like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. It's Keys Dan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.